Hi everyone, hopefully you're having a good week. Today I wanted to talk about meal prepping. So a lot of times I talk to my clients or even just people that are curious on how to make more homemade meals themselves about meal prepping. And there's this consensus that it's super overwhelming. You've got to spend all day Sunday in the kitchen, making five to seven times 3 meals. So like 30 meals all at once, which is just not true. You can definitely meal prep with much simpler efforts, and it can be super easy, super simple, and you'll be able to have stuff on hand. So when you're making meals throughout the week, it can be really, really quick to just throw those all together. So if you've seen some of my past videos, I always have stuff prepped, and some of the things I have prepped are literally like non-prepping items, for example. And I'll get to this in my 5 steps here of meal prepping like a pro. So one of the things that I always have on hand is grape tomatoes and shredded carrots. Secret, there's no prepping to them. You might rinse the tomatoes, but the carrots, you just throw them, in your bowl, in your dish, whatever you're making. So that's actually step 1, is having items on hand that have 0 prep work. So I just wrote a blog post that I'll post in the comments with a few examples of these items, but these are things like grape tomatoes, shredded carrots, olives, nuts, seeds, even canned artichokes, things that literally require no time to prep. They are just ready to go, ready to be eaten. So that's the first thing. So keep it super simple and have some items on hand that don't even require prep. The second one is, again, keep it super simple. The second one is only have a few things prepped. And so a few things, meaning I always say start, and I'll go through my my steps here into what categories of things to have prepped, but starting with veggies. So fruits, really, I don't really prep any fruit unless I'm throwing it in the freezer for a smoothie, and so I'm going to stick to veggies for this example. So prep about 4 to 5, 6 veggies a week, and you can mix and match those. So then you're not eating the same thing every week, but you've got things on hand that you're not also having, 20 different vegetables prepped, and then most likely some of those are going to go bad. So I always like to have, cucumbers, maybe some shredded cabbage, avocado, just some very simple, easy things that I, rinsed, chopped, put in a Tupperware that I can just grab as I'm assembling my dishes throughout the week. So the third step, I guess, is to batch roast. So I'm a big batch roaster, and if you know me or have seen my posts and dishes, am a huge sweet potato lover. So I will always have roasted sweet potatoes in the fridge, which is great for me. I could eat those as a snack with some tahini, or throw them in a veggie bowl, a grain bowl, or have them on hand for my husband, who likes to eat them with a lot of ketchup on them. But regardless, you can do, 3, 4, 5 sweet potatoes, dice them up, roast them, and those should be good all week. You can also batch roast a variety of veggies. So I have some clients that I work with that they love, zucchini and mushrooms. And so they, just chop them up, roast a big batch of them, then they've got those on hand all week. So those are great too. You can add with a protein, a healthy fat source, grain, and you've got your meal. Boom, done. Or you can throw them in a salad bowl like I typically do for most of my meals. So the fourth one is prepping a batch of grains. So I also do this almost weekly. I'll either have a wild rice or a quinoa or a brown rice, some kind of grain already cooked and ready to go to just be added to a dish. You can throw it in soups, salads, grain bowls, make a grain bowl with your grain. But super simple. And sometimes grains, can take a little bit longer. Quinoa is actually super quick. It's 15 minutes to cook. But a wild rice or a brown rice, they can take a little bit longer to cook. So on your Sunday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, whatever day that you're doing your meal prep, start first cooking your grain while you wash and chop your veggies or whatever else you're prepping. So then you're really efficient with your time and you can get done meal prepping your items in super quick amount of time. The last step I have on hand is having some kind of protein readily available. And so I do focus mostly on a plant-based diet. However, plant-based really, to me, and you may have seen a past post, is really, very personal. So whatever amount of plants you want your diet to consist of, that can be plant-based. You can still have meat and eggs and dairy in your diet and still live a relatively plant-based diet. Up to you, side note. But so some examples of proteins to have on hand that are really quick and easy are eggs, tempeh, frozen cooked shrimp or edamame, and even like a canned tuna. All super easy proteins to have and readily available. So once you have, a few items from these categories, you can then mix and match meals and you're just literally assembling as you go. You're not, chopping, washing, cooking, roasting, waiting, to put that stuff together. So this is a great way to not only have variety in your diet, but also have those things on hand for those days that you're just exhausted. Maybe you don't want to even step in your kitchen for that long, unless you work in your kitchen, like myself. But regardless, you can literally assemble your meal in under 10 minutes, and then you'll feel good, and you'll use your oh hey Amy, you'll use your produce and your foods efficiently and effectively, so like you will not waste things. You'll know exactly what you have on hand. Things aren't getting lost in the at the back of your fridge, and you're good to go. So hopefully this helped. And I'm going to post my blog post because I have some examples of just ideas of things to prep that you can have on hand, and you'll be on your way to making your delicious, healthy, satisfying plant-based meals. Hopefully you guys all have a great week and weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye.